Hey, what, Eurovision 2022. I got a new video. Alicia Michelle, I'm ready to go. Eurovision fam, are you ready for the show? Hello, Eurovision fam. How are you doing today? Woke up and then got the news of the running order. And yeah, we're going to talk about it because honestly, I did a live stream to talk about the running order last year. So I was like, you know what? I think this works better as a conversation anyway, so I can gauge your thoughts on it. So one, thank you so much for joining. If you are not subscribed to my channel, this is the moment. You should subscribe if you love the Eurovision Song Contest because we have conversations and things like these. And I am going to be in Turin. Yeah, so you definitely want to stay connected to my channel so that you don't miss any of this content. If you love Eurovision, I don't know what you're waiting for. We got to get connected. All right. Yeah, so let me share my screen so that we can kind of look at it together. So I am going to do that so then we can kind of see together what we're working with. Okay, yeah, I see the window. Yeah, should we... Okay, is this gonna work? I'm sharing this window. Is it gonna work? No, it's loading. But in the meantime, yeah, I'm curious y'all's thoughts on this. Okay, so we've got a couple of questions. So yeah, why is Armenia closing semi one? Albania opening the semi is a good sign for the final. Albania is such a perfect show starter. Yeah, I mean, I think that this running order to me isn't awful. I think there have been moments where it's been kind of oh, this feels why are we doing this? Why is this kind of happening? I don't feel like we have a ton of that this year. Maybe I'm going out on a limb here in saying that, but I don't think that we have a ton of WTF moments, but I do think that there are some glaring choices that we have in this running order. So yeah, let's get into this, and I hope that I can share my screen. I don't know why it is acting up and not wanting to let me show. This is so annoying. Okay, so I'm gonna have to pull. I'm gonna pull it up. We're gonna look at it on literally the EBU channel because that is what I think will work. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, and then can I make this smaller? All right, here we go. Okay, we're gonna do this. This will hopefully work much better. Because we gotta look at this, I think, together, collectively. So then y'all don't have to worry about this. But yeah, I think that there were some choices made here that feel interesting, but I do think we are gonna get somewhat of an interesting show. But I do feel like we're popcorning around in this a little bit that I'm oh, okay. All right, so this is a little bit small. Let's see if I can make this look a little bit bigger. I don't know if I can. Let's see, can I? Yeah, let's see if I can make it look a little bit bigger. Here we go. Let's see. Okay, that's a little bit bigger. All right. So yeah, so we're opening out semifinal one with Albania, which is one of the thoughts that I had. To be honest, I think given everything, I might have just opened my show with Ukraine because I think we could have shared some words. We could have sort of marked the mood and then also, sort of honor and then transition nicely into Ukraine's entry. That I wouldn't have hated. But the only other obvious opener for the first semifinal was Albania. And I think Ronella starting off the show, it's going to do something. And I think we had questions. I am going to do a video upcoming about our shock non-qualifiers. And I almost am maybe I should redo that poll for that. Because I think running order might play into this a little bit. But anyone thinking that Albania was going to shock non-qualify, let that go. Let that leave your mind. Albania is qualifying. I never thought that Albania was on the edge, but I think that opening the show is just going to cement Ronella. There is something about when I like just watch her perform this song that kind of puts me in this place where I'm like, I wish you could win it this year. Like, cause I just want her to win. Like when she performs, it's just like, oh, this is really, really good. I just really, really think we're starting off on a good note with that. Moving on, then we have Latvia. So we're sort of keeping the party going. I think Latvia being where it is cool. We know that number 2 sometimes is a tricky position, but to be honest, I'm not loving I don't love it to the point that I need to see it advance. So I think for the sake of keeping the show going and keeping the party going, I'm cool with Latvia. I'm not going to lie. This cluster of Lithuania, Switzerland, and Slovenia, I don't love. I don't love this cluster. I think I might have actually put Slovenia after Latvia. Like in a way, I might have bumped them up. Yeah, I don't know. And I think anyone who was thinking that maybe Switzerland would be helped, I don't think that Switzerland is well served in the place that it is. Lithuania is quality. It's good, but there's still a nice tempo to it. And I think that this is where the producers were thinking like, well, Lithuania maybe is giving us a transition to Switzerland, but I think it's a transition where people are going to tune out. And then I do think that it kind of hurts. Because to me, running order isn't, and I know some other people have this philosophy, the running order isn't so much about like when you go, it's who you are next to. And I wonder if people might still be in the bathroom, or refilling a beverage from Switzerland, that they might miss the beginning of Slovenia, which is like one of the parts of it that I really, really like. I love that intro to it, and then as it moves, like it is a song that I think gives us a little bit of a journey, and yeah, I'm not feeling that. Let me see. Switzerland and Slovenia is the boring section. No, I like Slovenia. You don't know I like Slovenia. Lithuania will honestly shine, Alicia, compared to Switzerland. Well, yes. No, I think where Lithuania is, I know some of y'all were a little bit iffy about where Lithuania is. I don't think that this is bad. I just don't think I would have put Lithuania there. Like, I think that's my challenge is I don't think I would have put it there. But I do think, I do agree with you that I think Lithuania still feels... I think Lithuania still feels good. Let me see. The lead singer of Slovenia and Switzerland are in similar tone, which is not good to put them together. Yeah, this makes me worried for Slovenia because I really like Slovenia. I know that a lot of y'all are not feeling Slovenia, unfortunately, but so knowing that some of y'all are not feeling it, I am concerned. I am concerned for it, mostly because casual viewers, I'm worried about it now. Yeah. So I think Lithuania is in a good place. People who were worried for it, I think we can not be as worried for it there. I just wouldn't have put it there. I would have put it someplace else. But I think Lithuania is fine. Let's move on. So then we have Ukraine. And with love, y'all, I just wouldn't have put them there. I would have had them kick off the show or even go before the break. Ukraine's song is a beat. There's a flow to it, and although it's not like my favorite song this year, it is a good entry, and there's an energy to it, and there's something about it that I think a lot of people will go like, oh, this is Eurovision. Like, it sort of puts you in that this is Eurovision space, and I think they're putting it here because they're hoping that this will be sort of an uptick, I think. But I also do feel like I I don't know. I don't know. Someone says, yeah, oh, so yeah, Ukraine is going to be before the ad break. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think I don't know. I think I'm a little bit in a funk about it only because I probably would have had it just open, even though I'm not mad at Albania opening. Because, like I said, originally looking at the layout of things, I was like, oh, I'd have Albania open the show. Like, that would be a moment. But just given the situation and everything, I think I would have probably just had Ukraine open. But that's not bad, actually. If there's an ad break after that, then Ukraine being there might not be awful. But let's just go on and move to Bulgaria, which it ain't good. It ain't good. Yeah, Bulgaria definitely. If anyone was thinking that maybe this would be a shock qualifier, it won't be. Not not there. Not there, especially then after the ad break. And low-key, the song almost sounds like a commercial. To, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Like, it might be for a car commercial or something like that. Okay, moving on to the Netherlands. I think the Netherlands is in a good spot. Yeah, I think the Netherlands is in a good spot. And yeah, I mean, the Netherlands, I'm really feeling that song. So I like the Netherlands where it's at. And then we get lifted back up with Moldova giving us, a nice little party anthem. Anyone who had questions about Moldova, shock non-qualifying, or people, because actually I think a lot of people weren't checking when we did the most underrated video. Moldova came up as one of the countries that's underrated, and I do agree with that. Ain't nobody gonna be forgetting about Moldova. I felt like Moldova was gonna be a surefire qualifier, and I think that where it is, it's going to qualify. And then we transition on to Portugal. How are y'all feeling about Portugal? Moldova stands out between Netherlands and Portugal. It absolutely does. Someone said Moldova is still not qualifying. I don't agree. I don't agree. Moldova between Netherlands and Portugal feels like it could go either really well or really badly for Moldova. I think it's going to go well for them. That's what I'm thinking. What else do we have? So Jay Bate is saying, I'm mad about Portugal's placement. I wouldn't say I'm mad, because this is the thing. The person who should be mad about Portugal's placement is Croatia. Is Croatia. Because Croatia being next to Portugal, I don't know about that. I'm not feeling that. If I were Mia and Croatia, I would be like, dang, me next. Someone says I would swap Portugal and Armenia if we wanted to end on a more calmer note. Well, they didn't want to end on a calm note, I guess. But yeah, I think the person who's suffering from this top half of sort of our second half of the first semifinal, Croatia's not in a great place. Low key, I think Austria is dancing in a decent spot. I don't know, y'all. Let's just move on, because really, I think the shame of the second half is, why in the world is Armenia closing? Why? Subwoofer was literally right there. Like, on a level, it almost feels like they're like, well, if we put Subwoofer closing it out, they'll say we're favoring them, or something like that. It's like almost as if this was like some type of thing. And not to mention, Austria was right there. We could have had Austria close out the show. We could have even had Greece close out the show. Armenia closing out. Is it because are we gonna have like a thing where then we go to the junior winner? Like, are they then gonna bring the junior Eurovision winner out on the stage after? Is that the transition? So some folks are saying because of the staging. Let's say I have to assume Armenia has some really complicated staging or something to warrant this spot. But if it's complicated well, no, I guess that could be a thing. What, are they going to do the house? But is that going to be enough to make it qualified? I don't know. Armenia is feel good and possible, has big staging plans. With love, y'all. I hear the staging note. But I probably wouldn't have ended my show on it. The song is really derivative. I wouldn't have done it. So Jamail says Armenia ain't qualifying. I mean, I think Armenia isn't in trouble. Closing out the show does not mean you're qualifying. It's a good slot, but I don't think it means you're qualifying, as evidenced by, Theater Flama and Lighters. I'll never forget it. Triana Park. Okay. I feel like Armenia are going to overdo this and suffer in Ireland. They could, because this song doesn't need big stage. And like, that's why I'm bristling a little bit at the idea of like, oh, well, it possibly means that they have like, some complicated staging, but for what? But it could also be props and set pieces. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, and that just to pull some more. Yes. Triana Park. Triana Park. Armenia is qualifying. I'm speaking it into existence. Tara, it's semifinal 1, so anything could happen. But yeah, I think all in all, like with this first semifinal, the thing is, I think that although semifinal 2 is our competitive semi, we know we're gonna lose a really good song in semifinal 2. I think the first semifinal is probably going to give us the show. I think there are so many entries here. Also, this is our semi with all of the language. Like, we actually have a lot of native language, whereas semifinal 2 is pretty English heavy, which is annoying. And then, Serbia gets to stand out in semifinal 2. I think where Greece is good. And I know some of y'all had expressed that Iceland would be hurt by where it is. I don't think I actually agree. I think having the contrast of the halo, and then we go to something that is going to be well sung, that's going to be really thoughtful. This is our adult entry this year, where it's like, and I think Switzerland was trying to go for the adult category, and I think they ended up just doing the Austria 2021 category, which is like the jury bait thing. I think that Iceland is giving us our adult entry, and I think it will be able to stand out between the two of these. And I actually think Iceland is in a great spot to potentially stand out, and stand out positively, and get that. Giorgio says, I'm sorry, but this running order is meh. Not terrible, but meh. And I think I'm sort of in there for that. Okay, so let's move on to semifinal 2. Let's talk about it. So we're kicking off the show with Finland. I would have opened it with San Marino. I also think that there's something really inviting about the start of Cyprus. And so I would have been here for a Cyprus opening. But looking at this first half, I mean, and even Israel, I think some people had even said like maybe they'd start off with Israel, which I just had a feeling they wouldn't do. But I think Israel could have been a nice opener with just the way that the vocal is sort of laid out in that, and the way that it's sort of, baby, like coming out. Like, I think that there's something about that that could have worked as an opening. I'm gonna be real with y'all, okay? Because I had somebody who was even talking about, oh, we want to see more of the old Alicia who like is honest. I don't know when I've ever come up on this channel and lied, and also I don't know when I've ever not been blunt. If that vocal is anything like the national selection, which the producers have seen the national selection, I would not want to open my show off on that. I wouldn't want. I wouldn't have opened. I would have wanted to open up my show with something reliable, with a nice, reliable, solid performance. And I don't know if we can say that about Finland with the vocal that we had. I just, yeah, I mean, no shade. I feel the song. I'm not skipping the song. I like the track. Like, yeah, but, I just, okay. And then we moved to Israel, which I know everyone talks about like the second position, but you know, if what is his name, Laurie doesn't have his vocals together, then baby Michael Ben David is about to come up in there and be like, baby, this is how you sing a song. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, Michael will just stomp on it and give us the vocal that, you know, will be giving us the vocal that we should have been getting in the opening. So it might not actually be that bad. And then we move on to Serbia, which I don't know if I would have put Israel and Serbia next to each other, because I think that they're both interesting performances that I would have almost spaced it out and put someone in between, like low-key Azerbaijan in between. But we know that Azerbaijan gives it up with the staging, but you know, sonically the song isn't really doing anything inventive. I think Georgia's in a good spot between Azerbaijan and Malta. I mean, Georgia definitely, I think, gets a moment to shine. I think Malta, it's not good. I'm watching Georgia. I might be getting snacks at Malta. So maybe I hear a little bit of it, but is then the song enough to make me go, oh, there's another song coming in, let me peek around the corner? I don't think so. Yeah, someone said Serbia's too early. I agree. I wouldn't have had Serbia that high up. I don't think it's hurt by this, but to me, show flow, I wouldn't have had Serbia and Israel next to each other, and I definitely would have probably ticked down Serbia. I wouldn't have even hated, actually, I wouldn't have hated Serbia and Malta switching places if we left everything the same and we just switched Serbia and Malta, because that would give me a nice chunk of like where people are then like, ooh, yeah, we're watching the show, we're into this. I like where San Marino is. I did see some folks, someone said I would have put Azerbaijan third. I think I said, yeah, I wouldn't have hated that either. Like, I just think having Israel and Serbia, these two very impactful like stage shows, I would have put something in between, like sonically, I would have put something in between to break it up a little bit, because like both songs are sort of electronic to a certain degree too. So even for that reason, I would have created space. Let me see. I think some people will be confused by Serbia, which can hurt Azerbaijan. Well, or Azerbaijan is a reset. You know, if someone is looking for some very like structured out song, you know, that follows, you know, a really predictable, and I don't mean predictable in a negative way, but like just predictable formulated format, perhaps Azerbaijan is the thing that brings them back in. Because it, you know, it is rather formulaic, and I think something that people expect to kind of hear on the Eurovision stage. Azerbaijan could very well get eliminated here. I don't know. I don't know because I think we really don't know if the whole of Europe will really be feeling Serbia either though. So I don't know there. And so what is it too? Yeah, and so oh wait, I wanted to click on this. Ah, Azerbaijan is good as a normal song in between two weird songs. I mean, yeah, but again, I think what's killing me is I would have probably had Malta in the second slot. Actually, Malta or Azerbaijan would have probably been my number two in this mix. Because if we just slotted that one up, it would shift things. Okay. Someone even said I would have rather had oh, where'd it go? I would have rather had Malta. I think I tend to agree with that. Like with them swapping, I think that could have given us a decent flow, but well, and it would have been a decent flow just because I think Malta is just killed. I mean, Malta's just like annihilated in this sandwich. I don't think that contrast is gonna play well. And then we have Australia and then Cyprus, which I saw online some people saying, yeah, let's talk about this. So we're still talking about the first half of the second semifinal. I heard someone sort of saying that like Australia and Cyprus would mute each other. I don't agree. I don't agree. I think Australia is actually in a nice space. Um, Depending upon what Akili is gonna be doing with his vocal, I think Sheldon gets to come in and be like, we're not the same, and come through. And then Cyprus, I think, is in a nice space. Hold on. Malta will be qualifying. Everyone's gonna be shocked. Is this a facetious comment? We're joking, right? Cyprus should be opening semifinal too. I said that earlier. I think that there is something about Cyprus's song, the way that it's like a flower blooming a little bit, just that dun 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 dun, and then the ethnic elements of it. I think it's a nice song because I think when people think of show openers, a lot of times they think of things that are loud, but I think that there is something about having songs that are inviting, where it's like we have a progression and it just invites you, and there's something about that opening that I think would have been nice. But yes, Cyprus did open the final, so maybe they were like, let's be fair. I feel like the juries will eat up Australia, and it will be a delectable meal that they will be chewing on legitimately. I think yeah, I think that will be happening. Let's move on. So we're kind of coming into the second half of the semifinal, and Ireland is opening. I'm going to tell y'all right now, Ireland and Czech Republic should be swapping places. And I'm not saying that just because I like both of the songs. I like both of the songs. I'm worried for Czech Republic. I would have closed on Ireland. So yeah, let's chew into this second half. So yeah, y'all are saying R.I.P. Ireland. Ireland's out. Ireland will not qualify. Sorry. Look, I'm sorry, y'all. Ireland closing this makes way more sense to me. Um, I, I, I am concerned. Someone said Ireland is screaming last place in the semi. Sadly, that's Malta. Um, I mean, maybe Malta gets like 7. I mean, look, Ireland came last in the semi last year with 22 points. Malta could get 20. Malta could get 20 points. Yeah, no. So of this second half, the folks I'm concerned about, I think North Macedonia's done. And I'm really feeling that song. I'm just really feeling that song. And I don't think that this running order helps it. I do think that there is something different about it. And so, like, the idea that maybe people remember it in that mix. But I think in the overall, I think its neighbors allow it to shine. But in the overall run of the semi, it being sort of in this sandwich middle, I don't think helps it. I think that North Macedonia would have been served if it came a little bit lower. I don't think I'm alone in this. Yeah. I think that this running order next to Ireland, next to Estonia, isn't gonna serve it super well. And I think too there's a level of it because sonically this song isn't really modern, whereas I feel like Ireland's song feels really fresh. And even though Estonia's song is kind of giving that spaghetti western, it feels there's a stirring sort of quality to it. And I think that that quality of it and just the fact that it's sort of different and it's just definitely going to make it through. It's unfortunate. And then I'm not gonna lie. Romania is in a nice place to where it can stand out. Being next to Poland and being next to Estonia. But I don't know. I don't know if it's. I don't know. I don't know if this gives it more momentum to qualify. But I do think with the neighbors here, I actually don't hate that for Romania. I think being on the side, like being sandwiched between Estonia and Poland is actually a good place for Romania to be sitting. Because the people who are interested in that are going to be interested in that. Y'all, let's talk about Poland because Poland has all the buzz around it and everything. Do we think that this is a good place for Poland? Do we think that this is? Here we go. If Poland really delivers, then Romania can get swallowed up by Estonia. No, Estonia's is too booming. I think, no, Estonia's, there's, watch that national selection performance. There's a roar within that sound, within the sound of it sonically that I think, no. Yeah, just, oh, are you saying can get swallowed up with, oh, are you saying both of them get muted by Poland? Poland and Montenegro are vocal powerhouses. Well, let's talk about Montenegro. Montenegro is not qualifying. And honestly, Montenegro got a pretty decent placing. I would have almost swapped Poland and Montenegro just so we can kind of ride a wave. I think where Poland is ultimately good. But I think that Vladana won't be. No, I don't think that Montenegro is qualifying. I think why not? It's just not. I mean, first of all, we're talking about the second semifinal. This is our semifinal of death. Yeah. Montenegro is so qualifying. You're wrong. We'll see. We'll see. Montenegro is not served by this running order. The song was already a little bit like it's not giving Balkan Ballad, and it probably should be giving Balkan Ballad. And it was already, like someone said, it was already going to be a borderline qualifier if it made it through, and I don't think that it is being served. Yeah, so yeah, the song is just not going to be enough to get folks. And let's move on to Belgium, which Belgium I actually think is in a nice spot. I actually do. I don't think it's qualifying unless they do something with the track. I think unless they do something with the track, I'm not counting on it. And we know how Belgium can sometimes show up with the staging. We know what they do. We know what they do. But I do think they're in a very nice spot to where if they have their act together with the staging, and if the song feels more grand, because right now it's not feeling super grand in the studio cut, but maybe it will feel that way on the stage. So I am thinking, and with the placing, it's in a good spot where people could catch it. Sweden's in a great spot. And then, yeah, someone said, what? I was 100% sure Belgium was qualifying. No, you should worry. You should worry. I mean, remember, Belgium does not have a track record of staging thoughtfully. They really, really don't. They really, really don't. And if they don't stage this well, it ain't happening. Remember, this is our semifinal of death. We're going to lose some good stuff. Before we had the songs, I was actually thinking Belgium was going to be potentially in a good spot. But I think at this point they would be, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. And then Czech Republic, let's move on. Someone said we're going to lose Estonia and even Poland. No, I don't think we're losing Estonia. And if Poland has their staging together, I don't think we're losing Poland. Someone said, okay, so I feel like Sweden can win the semi. I tend to agree with that. Belgium will make it if their staging is together. At this point, everyone should worry. If you miss staging, you miss the final. Absolutely. And Belgium's track record is not good. Maybe Belgium is performing too late when everyone picked their faves already. I think that is actually a point that I have thought of before, whether people are like, no, but I already kind of know that I really, really like this, and like they're humming it already. I think that is true, but I think where Belgium is good. Okay, let me hop into these comments and see what y'all think. All right. I think Australia are in the mix to win the semi in that running order. No, Sweden's going to win the semi. Serbia could win the televote for it. But I think, yeah. I think Sweden is winning the semi. Do you think the song that opens the semi will be memorable or forgettable? In this case, with it being Finland, it could be forgettable. Because I don't know what's going on with... I don't understand, sort of. I think Finland, with Eurovision lately, I think Finland should be grateful to qualify. But I definitely think if Laurie's vocal is not together, it will become forgettable because it'll get stomped out by Israel. Then Serbia's coming with just something so out of the box that even if you aren't into it, you're gonna remember it and be like, what was that? What was that? So yeah, haha, let's open with shaky vocals of Rasmus Fun. Well, we talked about that. Who could win semi one? I said this the other day. I think, Ukraine could, well, I don't know, that running order is just not the best. I think Greece, if their staging is together, I could see a pathway for Greece win. Like, we're cumulative. I think it's a little bit parallel. I think that Norway is qualifying, but I don't think that Norway is necessarily like a shoo-in for the televote. I think Ukraine could win the televote in semifinal one. So we're looking at a mix of like, well, who can be top three with the televote and the jury? And I think Albania's in the mix. I think Greece is in the mix. I want to say the Netherlands, too. I want to say the Netherlands, actually. Yeah, I could see that. I think either Lithuania or Netherlands will be a shock non-qualifier. Well, honestly, I think Lithuania is served well in this running order, and the Netherlands is qualifying. So, yeah. I don't know if Albania will be appreciated by the jury. I am with you on that fear. That's why I'm just like, I don't know if I could say that Albania could win the semi because I am concerned. I'm like, could it be top? It would have to be top three with the jury. I think it could be top three with televoters, actually. But I don't know about the jury. I could see a top five with the juries. I could see Albania easily top five with the juries. So it just depends upon, but I think the televote winners in the first semifinal between Ukraine and Norway for the televote win in semifinal one. Lithuania could be in the top five of the jury overall. I could see that. I really like Lithuania's song. I really like this. Okay, well, any last questions, any last thoughts on this live stream? I've got tons of people watching. Thank you so much for watching. If you've never subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. If you love the Eurovision Song Contest, come on over here. I'm going to be entering. Yeah, I mean, all in all, I feel like with this running order, it's not like amazing. You know what I mean? I don't think it's something where I'm just like, oh, like jam packed, like boom, boom, boom. And in particular with the first semifinal, I thought that we had a way of really kind of keeping the party going and having like this nice flow. And I don't know if we completely have that. I think in the second semifinal, I think where this fumbled the bag, in my opinion, in my opinion, where this fumbled the bag is really with the choices of openers and closers. Because I don't think I would have, other than in the first semifinal. Yes, Albania, I think, is a smart move to a certain degree. But I would have just gone on and done Ukraine. I would have just gone on and done that. But yeah, okay, so, I actually enjoy Czech Republic at last because of the title. Lights Off is just perfect for a closer, and I think the EBU maybe thought that too. I didn't think about it that way. I don't hate that. Czech is a perfect closer. I would have had Czech in Ireland flip. I would have closed out my show actually on Ireland. I wouldn't have closed out on Czech Republic. Who's done the most dirty with the running order? Oh. North Macedonia, Malta, Bulgaria. Yeah, and low-key Croatia. I would say from first semifinal, Croatia and Bulgaria, and then in the second semifinal, I think North Macedonia definitely was done dirty, and we're saying done dirty. And Malta are in the trickiest slots, from my opinion. Pascal says Bulgaria wouldn't have qualified anyways. True. So, yeah, I agree with that. Switzerland isn't going to qualify in this order. I tend to agree with that. What are your opinions on Denmark? I've said this numerous times. I like the song. I think Denmark is in a good slot. I think Denmark's in a really good slot. Completely. I think Denmark is definitely being served with this. Okay, but Malta's better than Georgia, right? I don't really like trite message songs, so it's just not my brand. Portugal should be put next to Italy and Netherlands. What do you mean? Because Italy's not. What do you mean? And actually probably not. I wouldn't have Portugal touching anything I think Portugal's in a nice spot where it can possibly shine, and act as a breath. Act as a breath. Okay. Um, yeah. Someone's asking. Oh, so someone thinks Portugal is likely to not qualify. I don't know if I completely agree with that. I I don't know if I completely agree with that. It's one of like the most quality songs we have this year. Um, and I think again, I think where it is good. Tolly says Israel has no chance of reaching the final. I already spoke on this before, but I think that Israel is in a place where, yeah, baby, this is how you sing a song live. So, yeah, yeah, I don't know why Finland is opening the second semifinal. I mean, I get why they have it there, but I just wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it. Okay. Well, thank y'all so much for watching. We had to talk about it. You know, when it comes to the running order, I can't just do a video where I sit here. Like, it has to be a conversation where we talk about it, where we go, oh, wait, but what about this? What about this? Yeah, so yeah, someone said, will you go live during the jury shows? Yeah, I'll be going live probably a lot. I'll be going live during the semifinals. And then, yeah, we typically do the jury show and talk about it, so that'll definitely be happening. Someone's asking me what my top 5 is. I don't have a ranking, but I will say I know which 5 songs I'm not feeling. So I will be doing a video that is my least favorite entries this year. And yeah, definitely. Which song would you swap from semifinal 2 to semifinal 1 so they could qualify? That's a good question. So then that means I kind of think that the song might not qualify. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I want Jeremy in the final. And I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know if that's going to happen. Mostly just because we don't know what Belgium's going to do with the staging. But I feel like in semifinal 1, Belgium will qualify. I think Belgium would have a better chance of qualifying in semifinal 1. Maybe that's my answer. Because I want Jeremy in the final, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Yeah, that's the only tricky thing, because I'm like, it has to be something that I think won't qualify. And I think Ireland still has a shot. But also, I don't know. Yeah, no, I think Ireland is in the semifinal that it needs to be in, actually. Yeah. Okay, Albania will finish 9th or even 10th in jury, but finish 4th or 5th in the televote. Which means it makes it. So, yeah. Someone says, nah, Ireland is dead. I don't know. Sometimes I just don't know what the difference between, like, haters and and actual, like, well thought out comments of like, no, it's dead because, you know, I looked at the math and then this and this and this and this and this. Because yes, I agree with you, Callum. If Ireland gives Brooke great staging, I definitely think that she can pull through in this mix. Yeah. So yeah, all right, let me close out the stream. I have so much content coming for you. I really, really do. I have a whole list of videos that I am filming. And then, of course, I'm going to be on the ground in Italy. I'm so excited. Talking to some of your artists, writing some articles on EurovisionFam.com. Yes, EurovisionFam.com. So yeah, I'm really, really excited to get into the rest of this content. All right, bye. Bye.